Hello everyone, TLSG here, back again with another Marvel Snap video. So do you remember a few videos ago where we pulled Omega Red and we built a deck around it and we said something along the lines of it was really bad? So I actually created an Omega Red deck. It was bad. It didn't perform very well. Well, that's kind of been eating away at me. I wanted to make something to make that work, and I finally feel like I did. Now, is this deck going to be the best 12 cards ever put into a deck? No. But is it going to be fun? Yes. It is a unique mesh of different cards, and they all have an ongoing ability. You remember when you first were in Pool 1 and you got Spectrum and you just smashed all your ongoing cards together into like some kind of badly formed deck, and this is similar to that, except for we have a lot more options now, and so we have a lot more choices for our ongoing cards, so we can get a little bit more impactful with them. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the deck explanation. I hope you guys enjoy. It's me again. I forgot that I recorded from this screen. So first up, we have Ant-Man. Ant-Man, just a average ongoing card. It's a low cost, low reward card, but it allows us to get some power onto the board. Second, we have Mojo, another ongoing. If you are able to fill both lanes, you get +6 power. Pretty decent ongoing ability. Devil Dinosaur, everybody knows what Devil Dinosaur does. It is one of the strongest ongoing cards that there are right now. We have Rogue. Rogue is intended to steal us a high power ongoing ability, either a Devil Dinosaur, an Iron Man, something that's going to swing that lane already, and then we can kind of capitalize and expand upon that. Mr. Fantastic, he's a Pool 1 card. You get him really early. He's not great. He's very just kind of average, mediocre, but the reason we have him in here is we want to do some cool things with our ongoing abilities towards the end, or if we can sneak out some of our higher power ongoing cards. And so I'll continue to go through. So the wave is here to ramp in some of our 6 power cards, some of our high power cards, and sneak them in. So the idea is to be able to sneak in an onslaught to be able to double your ongoing effects at that location. So let's say we have Mr. Fantastic and Devil Dinosaur and Mojo, and then we sneak in an onslaught. All of a sudden Mojo becomes a +12. Mr. Fantastic becomes a +4 at each lane. Devil Dinosaur, of course, powerhouse unit. You can't deny the Devil Dinosaur. Of course, this is going to be hard countered by Enchantresses, but I feel like I don't see Enchantresses all that often, and maybe we can bait an Enchantress out early with something like a Devil Dinosaur in a lane, or some of these other ongoing abilities where they will feel like they need to use it. So Namor is a +5 ongoing, +5 power if this is your only card here. Really, we're wanting to hard push 1, maybe 2 lanes, so Namor is going to allow us to kind of halfway compete with the other lane, and then hopefully we're able to fill it in with some of our other cards like Mr. Fantastic, Omega Red, or Klaw to get the additional points in that lane and maybe swing it in our favor. And then so the card that kind of started this all is Omega Red. I tried running this in a deck and it just felt awful. Like I couldn't get it to work, and Omega Red being a if you're winning, win more type card. So if you're already ahead by +10 power here, you get +4 power to your other locations. Like that's a really small reward for winning by so much, right? But if you're able to drop an onslaught, all of a sudden you have +8 in your other lanes, and that becomes a pretty decent lane shift. And then if you're combining Omega Red with Klaw and onslaught, that's +5 power to the location to the right. That doubles, that's +10, and then you have your Omega Red, that's now +18 to the location to the right, and you're competing with that lane without placing any cards in it. So some really fun kind of things, that interactions that can happen here. I have been tweaking this ever so slightly, and this one feels as good as I think it can for the cards I have right now. Of course, a Mystique would be really good to have here. It's a 3 power or 3 cost card that copies the ongoing ability of whatever card you played just before. So if I dropped an Iron Man and then the start of next turn 6, I drop Mystique, it's going to copy Iron Man. So it could be really good for dropping Wave, and then the following turn dropping Mystique, who's going to copy on, or dropping Wave, drop Onslaught, the next turn drop Mystique, who copies Onslaught, and all of a sudden you just have this game-breaking amount of power that's shifting to your other boards. So I think Mystique will really help bring this deck archetype home, but for now it does feel pretty solid. And then rounding it out, we do have Blue Marvel, who is another ongoing card that your other cards have +1. So the idea is, if we don't really see a good play line anywhere else, we can always have Blue Marvel and Onslaught, and then it's going to duplicate that. It's going to be +2 to the other lanes. Blue Marvel is really not a good addition to this. It's not. It doesn't feel like it just brings it home. It feels like it is a second, just mediocre choice if we're not already winning, if we don't have a better play line. Whenever I do get Mystique, this is probably one that I would replace. Mr. Fantastic is definitely on the chopping block just because he's very so-so, and then we just kind of go from there. But I am going to go ahead and jump in. The deck list itself is pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory, but the way that it works and interacts together is pretty fun. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I will see you guys there. So I'm just going to skip to the end of this game, but we're playing against another bot. I think the game is saying, bless his heart, he's playing just a hodgepodge of cards. He doesn't know what he's doing. Let's give him a break. The general play line is going to be, we play maybe Mr. Fantastic, or we want to win very heavily here with Omega Red so that we get some points into nowhere and we win. But I'm going to go ahead and jump to the end. I'm sure that's probably how it's going to play. All right, and so the final play of the game coming in, we're dropping our Onslaught, which should boost up our Devil Dinosaur enough to allow us to have our Omega Red win these other two lanes for us. Let's watch it play out. Hey, there we go. I am fairly confident I have faced versus Quentin Best before, and that he is very much not a bot. So let's play this one. Yeah, man. We get to test against a human being. I guess we beat enough bots that the game decided we were worthy to face humans. So they are playing a move deck. Ooh. So initially I was wanting to win this lane really, really heavily, but I'm not sure that that's the play anymore. I am going to drop Mojo here. That kind of as an insurance. If he on the last turn uses Human Torch, such a good card. And I haven't pulled this one from pool 3 yet. But Human Torch being, when this moves, double its power. So it becomes so big so quickly that this card can be really, really insane. This and Dagger from pool 3 are really, really good. So I put Mojo here just as kind of as a backup. If he drops Heimdall on turn 6 and moves everything over to the left, it'll allow us at least a little buffer room, but I don't think we're going to be anywhere close to winning this one. So how do we play? We could do Wave, because I don't think he has a lot of high power cards. Move decks usually want to drop a lot of smaller cards to like pull the card over or something. Interesting? That's strange to me. Why would you drop this here? Because now you can't move your Human Torch to it, so it's not going to get doubled. Or maybe he's just wanting to clear up space in this lane so that he can Heimdall on the last turn, but then that's going to move all of these cards over. Strange. So do I drop? I think we do. I think we drop our Klaw. And then next turn we'll do Iron Man and then hope for an Onslaught. I think that's our only chance. I think that's our only play line at winning. Blue Marvel is really underwhelming with its buff. I don't know that it fits Oh no. He rogued me. He's running rogue in a he's running rogue in a move deck. But we are running rogue as well, so maybe it's not that bad. I think we still win this lane, even if not. So it could have been much worse. He could have stolen like an Iron Man or an Onslaught or something that just really obliterates our deck. So that cloak drop was so strange. It just doesn't make sense. And so he is going to get the +6 buff from having the mojo. But I don't know that it's going to be enough. So we're going to have ×4 in this lane for our power. We're going to have +10 over here. So if he drops Heimdall here, which I think he does, I think we lose this one. I think he drops Heimdall here, and then he hopes that one of these two move over, but then it becomes a +3 instead. We might win. We have a shot. Is he not? He's dropping Heimdall in this left lane? No. What in the world is he doing? So we dropped one card in the middle lane, and we're able to have it by a big enough margin that he didn't want to drop Chavez there. That was such... So our next opponent passes the bot test. So we are going to play this one out. So we have our Devil Dinosaur and Klaw. Klaw being one of our more powerful. I think Klaw is kind of a slept-on 5-cost card, especially in conjunction with Onslaught. +10 in a lane while you have +4 in another is really pretty big. So I think we're going to fight for Baxter building, because that really helps our kind of deck design by giving us power in the other lanes. We want to invest a lot of resources into one lane and have those spill out into others. So miniaturized lab, of course, not... Oh my gosh. Maybe a change of plans. So Onslaught Citadel is just a phenomenal... Like, that's the perfect location we could have had for this deck. As long as we draw into something that will multiply... So as long as we draw into like Onslaught or Omega Red even, or Iron Man, can really... So okay, there's our Onslaught, so good. All right, as long as they don't have... As long as they don't have an Enchantress, I think we're okay. Do we drop Wave so that we can drop Onslaught on turn 5? Onslaught on turn 5. I don't think that gives us any additional value. I think we go ahead and... I don't think we hold out for like an Omega Red. I think at this point we have to play what we have and just react to what they play. So I am going to drop Mr. Fantastic, which will push 4 power into this lane at the very least, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to double that, so it's going to be +8 at minimum. That's going to go to that middle lane. And we didn't draw into a good card, unfortunately. I think in this scenario we drop Namor, because I think they're letting us have Onslaught Citadel. So I think we drop Namor here just to put some pressure on it. And then next turn, if we get Omega Red, maybe we drop that instead of Onslaught. Or if we drop Onslaught, that's going to give us some additional power here to hopefully swing that lane. At least that's the thought process I'm having. If they have an Enchantress, of course, it blows up our whole deck. And the Shang-Chi coming in to destroy our 20 power Devil Dinosaur. That is unfortunate. Okay. So I don't think we win this. I don't think there's any scenario where we win this. But do we fight it out and try anyways? You know, just to see how big Namor gets. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna donate my cubes to you, Jay Stevenson. I have no doubt in my mind that that is what we will end up doing. Oh, that is going to be a large mid lane, isn't it? That's a very large mid lane. And there's our poor Omega Red. Never stood a chance. And so this, oh no way! It was, I'm speechless. That, so Onslaught in Onslaught Citadel or Onslaught in a Mystique causes so, like, the way that they calculate together, so the doubled double, so the Onslaughts, it just, the ×2 of the ×2, I don't know exactly how it calculates, but it causes for some massive swings. Okay, so we do have Daniel that we're going against. I am not sold on Ant-Man in this, actually. So there's been a couple games where it has really negatively impacted me because I played it. Ooh, Olympia is pretty good for us. We're able to draw some of our resources and get them out on the board when we wouldn't have been able to do much otherwise. So I think what we do is we drop a Mojo into Muir Island. We will probably end up losing or abandoning this one, but that's okay. We have the tools to kind of ramp out some of our other cards. So what I'm thinking is Onslaught next turn after Wave, and then that will lead us into 5, where we can drop Iron Man and Omega Red, or even Klaw and Omega Red, or Klaw and Iron Man, or whatever it looks like. If they're abandoning the lane, maybe we can do a Klaw and an Omega Red. Most likely we're going to have to do one, either Omega Red or Klaw, along with Iron Man. So I think we have a pretty good shot at this game. It looks like they are running the Devil Dino Dream, which hopefully that dream comes to an end pretty soon. Ooh, so we also have our Devil Dino. But I don't know if we are able to fit it in anywhere. And then we also have a Rogue, which is also pretty cool. They're running a Blue Marvel. I haven't seen Blue Marvel ran in any deck in such a long time. Do we go with just some basic pressure, which will allow us to do both Devil Dinosaur and Rogue next turn, and not have to worry about investing so many resources to get that lane 1 by +10? I think we do. I think the +10, or the +10 from Onslaught Klaw will help us compete with this lane, especially with it being a -2. Cards there have -2 power. They are dropping their Nova Carnage combo early, or are they just so confident that I won't interrupt it that they're dropping Nova Bucky? No, they're doing the whole thing already. Okay. Which will make Muir Island difficult, but not impossible. So they get a lot of upside from that. A lot of upside. But we get a really big upside from dropping anything here. It doesn't have to be even a huge card. So do we gamble here and hope that they drop their Devil Dino here? So if we do this, that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 and 6, so 14 and then 3. So 17 is not going to be enough to swing this one for us. So maybe we lean in somewhere else then. Maybe we do something like, so they're going to drop a Devil Dino. I know it. But we have priority, so we would not steal it. No. We steal their blue, oh man. If I had time, it took us a while, but I think we got there. If I had time, I would do the undo. I would drop our Devil Dino here, drop Rogue to steal their Blue Marvel from this lane, because that is going to give us enough swing that we could have won this left side. The 17 wouldn't have done it, but the 17 -4 on their end would have been enough to swing in our direction. Unfortunately, we saw it too late, and so this is not going to be enough. We did have a line to win, So we're going against a fellow infinite rank in Vinkelsier. And we have another Stark Tower, and that did not treat us well last time. You're just able to expand on your cards so much that it's hard to soak in a victory, especially when you could last turn drop something like Iron Man in it and it just swing that lane entirely in your direction. But I do think we stack our stuff there. I think we stack our stuff there. Next turn do Omega Red, and then hold out for a last turn Iron Man here to kind of get that surprise lead on them. Ooh, and they dropped they dropped a 0 Maw. Okay, so 0 canceling out the ability of the next card that you play, and then Maw being a low cost card, but the drawback is you can't play cards in that lane anymore. Well, they canceled out that negative effect of it, and so it's not that bad. Nowhere being a decent lane for us, being that we can spread our power across either one to the right or all of the lanes. So if we draw into Klaw here, I think Klaw would be a good drop to put in. I guess they could drop into Strange Academy, hoping that whatever they played shot into nowhere. And so yeah, they're filling up this lane, and then now after turn 5, all of these cards will go into nowhere. And so we need to get additional cards here because we lose advantage every turn that we don't have as many cards here as they do. But do we do Iron Man? Because they're going to be able to move Nightcrawler out. Do we do something like this so that we get the upside from Stark Tower playing here? We can sneakily drop Iron Man. So right now, if we dropped Iron Man, that would let them know that they need to invest additional resources or abandon it and put those resources into some other lane. So it looks like they've already actually moved out their sunspot, or not their sunspot. Oh, okay. So that's interesting. They changed the lane that was going to push their cards into nowhere. And so unless they have another way to make that shift happen, we win. I think. And maybe we go with, if we draw Klaw here, maybe we just go with Klaw. I don't think Mr. Fantastic is enough to go with, but I think Klaw is. So we of course drop our Iron Man. They can't react here. This is going to turn our 25 into 50, but minus 4. So it's going to be 46. And then so even if they pass here, we snap back. We're very confident. If they have, maybe if they have armor or something like that. But I'm pretty sure we can win this lane by plus 10 to get our plus 8. Oh no, it's just plus 4. That's unfortunate. We don't have Onslaught, I forgot. I just took it as a norm for it to be plus 8 instead of plus 4. Ooh, it's a little tougher that way, because they may have like an armor. And if they have an armor that drops there, then we wouldn't be able to win it. But they just go with a Chavez. So we get the Mojo buff, we get the Iron Man buff, we get the plus 2 Stark Tower at the end, which is gonna swing in our direction. So, guys, I think we did it. I think we made Omega Red playable. Oh my gosh. Like it's one of those that I feel fairly confident, but I'm nervous. Like it could go wrong at any point. Like had they completely passed that turn, could they have gotten enough? I don't think so. Not really. But that's the way I feel, and I'm trying to think, and it's just so much fun. X-Mansion is one of those locations that can either swing a game in your direction or lose you the game. You could be winning really heavily, but then you draw into a one-cost, one-power card, and they draw into a death. Something or I've seen an infinite pulled from X-Mansion, and it wasn't on my side. I wasn't the one that got the X-Mansion or the infinite. So it can really swing a game one way or another. It's always a gamble to snap before that X-Mansion goes off. So I think up to this point we just play a few cards in the mid lane. Mr. Fantastic, of course, spreading his power out across the other two lanes. Mojo for if Xandar gets swarmed. I may go with something like a Klaw in the mid lane, Klaw in the mid lane to try to push some additional power out to the right-hand side. Depends on what we draw and what we get from X-Mansion, really, because we also have to remember that Grand Central is going to drop something for us. So if this next turn we go with like a wave, then we could potentially get one of these really high cost cards out onto the board. So we got a Rhino and they got a Venom. Is Venom gonna eat? Yes, it is. Good. Oh boy, I'm so sorry, Natasha. I'm so sorry, Natasha Love. I don't think we play wave. I think that's playing it too safe, and we have a 25% chance to get a good card here. Of course, next turn it depends on what we draw, because we're probably going to drop our Klaw here. But I don't think we play wave just to guarantee that Grand Central pulls a good card, because if it does, great. If not, it's okay. So it still has 3 really good targets to pull. Now, if it pulls wave, that may mess us up just a little bit, because we're going to want to drop probably our Iron Man next turn. Or do we not drop the Klaw? We drop Iron Man to get the additional buff from Omega Red to guarantee that we get the buff. So I think not playing Iron Man here puts us in too much of a box. So I think we do go with Iron Man. If we drew Klaw, we would almost absolutely have to play Iron Man if it doesn't get pulled here. But if Klaw gets pulled into here, I'm going to be so sad. Whereas if Iron Man had gotten drawn in there. You know what? I think we're going to gamble it. I think we're going to roll the dice. We're going to see what we see. Maybe we pull in a Devil Dino. Maybe we pull in the Iron Man. But if Grand Central had pulled in Klaw, I would have felt bad. I would have felt really bad, because you don't get that additional +5 boost from Klaw. So it draws in our blue Marvel, which is not a bad card to draw in, especially against a Shang-Chi. So if it had been Devil Dino, that could have been it for us. So now we have a couple of choices. We don't do the Devil Dino. We don't have enough cards in hand that I don't think it would be worth doing. But do we, and right now we're winning 3 lanes, do we anticipate that do we think they'll drop more than 9 in this right lane? They could drop a Devil Dino. If we think they're going to drop more than 9 in this right lane, I think we Iron Man. And knowing they have a Devil Dino, but then they could drop a Sentinel, we could push this lane. But I think it allows us to win this lane. So if we push this lane, because they drop a Sentinel and a Devil Dino here, then I think we win this lane by enough that we're not going to lose because we push. Whereas if we had done Onslaught and then they drop their Devil Dino here and a Sentinel, we would lose because we would lose that +4. Yeah, I think Iron Man is the safest play to do. And so I'm anticipating a Devil Dino, like Sentinel or Devil Dino. Oh, a Carnage. I forgot they had a Nova there. That is very unfortunate. So can we still win this lane? They dropped a Helk. What is this deck? What is this deck? We got really, really lucky that they did not drop their Sentinel in this middle lane. I think they were worried about the mojo. So had they dropped a card and we also dropped a small card, we would have got the mojo buff and we would have been able to swing the lane back in our favor. Oh, that was not the play line that I thought at all. I didn't anticipate any one of those cards coming out besides Sentinel. Sentinel is the only one that I called correctly. All right, I am going to end the video there. I feel like this deck did pretty well. It did a lot better than I thought, considering I built an Omega Red deck, 4 or 5 days ago, and it was so bad that I didn't even feel like I could put out a video to what we have now. I think Rogue really was a solid choice, and then really leaning into the lane dispersion of power, I think helped us a lot as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to drop a like. It helps the video grow. Leave a comment. I love getting feedback and interacting with you guys. So with that being said, we are going to put our Duracell deck to rest for now. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This has been TLSG. Later.